Welcome to this explainer. Okay, we are jumping right into a pretty high stakes experiment today. What actually happens when experienced web developers ask AI to build a content management system completely from scratch? Look, we all know AI generating layouts and writing code is absolutely dominating the tech world right now. But when you put that to the test for a real breathing business, well, the results are honestly pretty eye-opening. Let's find out what happened. Here's our roadmap for today. 1. The AI CMS experiment. 2. The homemade car analogy. 3. Functions versus production ready. 4. Rebuilding WordPress version 1. And 5. Cutting edge, not bleeding edge. Section 1. The AI CMS experiment. So let's set the stage here because there's this massive tension in web development right now. On one hand, you have the expert mind. This is the mindset that leans heavily on past success, like insisting a mature platform like WordPress is always the only answer, which kind of limits your possibilities, right? But on the other side, you have the beginner's mind. This mindset stays fiercely curious. It doesn't reject new tools out of fear, but, and this is key, it also doesn't blindly use unproven tech on client projects just to show off. A team of developers at an agency called Visionary actually decided to put this beginner's mind into practice with a very specific challenge. 30. It literally took Visionary developers Steve Cafarelli and Sankaran Rajan just 30 minutes to use AI to generate a functioning custom CMS from the ground up. I mean, in half an hour, they had a database, an administrative interface, and the ability to add and edit pages. 30 minutes to build the core of what used to take massive teams months to architect. It's wild. Section 2. The homemade car analogy. Now, while that 30-minute build is incredibly impressive, the real question isn't whether AI can build a CMS. It's whether you'd actually trust it with a client's business. To understand this, Steve came up with this brilliant comparison. Imagine deciding to build your own car. You weld a metal frame, attach 4 wheels, and bolt on an engine. Boom. The AI basically gave us a functional prototype of exactly that. Technically, it's a car. You can totally putter around an empty parking lot on what is essentially a motorized skateboard. But here is the catch. Would you actually trust this homemade vehicle when conditions get difficult or dangerous? Would you strap your family in and merge onto the highway at 70 miles per hour? Would you drive it through heavy snow? Trust the brakes on a steep mountain hill? Suddenly, a car isn't just about moving forward. It's about trust under pressure. Because a real car isn't just an engine, right? It's thousands of invisible, heavily tested features that people depend on for safety and comfort. It's engineered suspension, crash test data, airbags, and a whole service network that ensures someone else can fix it 5 years from now. These are the things that make it a car people can actually depend on. That AI-generated CMS, it was just a homemade car in an empty parking lot. Now, bring that exact same logic back to web development. A production-ready website requires the same invisible layers of safety as a highway-ready car. Sure, a software demo shows you a page loading or form submitting, but what about secure logins, proper data sanitization? What happens when a client suddenly adds 5,000 pages? What about disaster recovery or accessibility? These aren't edge cases, folks. They are the absolute daily baseline for a real business website. Section 3. Functions versus production ready. Let's dig into the massive gap between a software demonstration and a reliable business asset. There is a vast difference between a fragile prototype and a robust system. Yes, the AI prototype is blindingly fast to set up, no doubt about it, but it only offers the most basic fields. Compare that to a mature ecosystem like WordPress. It might have a slightly more moderate setup speed, but it comes equipped with this massive feature-rich ecosystem. Just because a system functions doesn't mean it's automatically ready for production. And this brings us to a frankly terrifying realization about AI web development. Security cannot be added with a casual prompt. An AI agent only implements the protections it is specifically instructed to build. If you just type, "make this secure," the AI doesn't inherently know what to secure against. It pushes the massive burden of security architecture, like protecting against database injection, cross-site scripting, exposed credentials, entirely onto the developer typing the prompt. Section 4. Rebuilding WordPress version 1. As the Visionary team kept asking their AI to add essential features to make the site truly functional, things like user roles, templates, and media management, they hit a profound realization. Sankaran Rajan put it perfectly. We're basically rebuilding WordPress version 1. That captures the total exhaustion of trying to recreate 2 decades of accumulated, battle-tested software knowledge from scratch. Think about it. WordPress has been developed, tested, attacked, repaired, and improved for over 20 years. Building a custom CMS with AI is the software equivalent of trying to build that car while also having to invent the replacement parts, the diagnostic tools, and the mechanic training all by yourself. Now, nobody is saying WordPress is flawless. Obviously, it has some baggage and bloat. But we don't use WordPress because it's technically perfect. We use it because a platform with a few miles on the odometer solves real, practical, human problems that a custom AI script simply cannot. First up, client independence. A non-technical marketing manager can jump in and use it on day one without calling an engineer. And second, portability. If a business needs to hire a new developer, they aren't trapped with an exotic AI-generated tech stack that maybe 3 people on Earth actually understand. Section 5. Cutting edge, not bleeding edge. Let's talk about how we actually integrate AI responsibly moving forward. Because make no mistake, AI can build a functioning CMS surprisingly quickly, but as we've seen, functioning is not the same as secure, maintainable, or ready for a client's real-world needs. We see tremendous value in AI right now as an accelerator for custom development inside established systems. It is phenomenal at stepping in as a powerful assistant. You can use it to troubleshoot errors, build temporary internal prototypes, and safely create specialized custom functionality within a mature framework like WordPress. It's an amazing co-pilot, just not the core architect. We need to adopt a specific philosophy here. The bleeding edge is basically the cost paid by early users who discover what a technology's creators did not anticipate. Now, professional developers are more than happy to pay this cost in our own testing environments, breaking things and learning on our own time. Visionary will absolutely continue testing these emerging platforms, but the stance is firm. Client websites are not laboratories for unproven tools. Our goal is to remain cutting edge without pushing clients onto the bleeding edge. Because at the end of the day, we have to remember what a website actually does in the wild. It accepts inquiries, it processes donations, builds trust, and publishes vital public information. Your digital presence is a critical asset. A failure doesn't just mean a weird error code on a screen. It means lost revenue, inaccessible services, and damaged credibility. When real business is on the line, stability and security must always trump the novelty of a shiny new toy. So I'm going to leave you to reflect on your own technology stack with this final question. Are you using new AI tools to safely accelerate your goals within a secure, proven ecosystem? Or are you, perhaps without even knowing it, acting as a crash test dummy in a homemade car? AI is changing absolutely everything, but good judgment? Yeah, that never goes out of style. Thanks for joining me on this explainer, and keep learning.